Greetings, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and I want to welcome you to my new Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways podcast series. We have been overwhelmed with the responses that people have shared from listening to these messages on my SiriusXM show over the years. Those listeners, and they're sharing my show with their network, telling people about it, telling their family members, their friends, and their coworkers about this show and the impact it's having on their lives. That's the main reason that this show is now number one for self-help in America, and I'm very grateful. Yet, we realize that many people do not have satellite radio and therefore could not experience for themselves the message. They could not get it for themselves. So we are now sharing these messages with everyone via this new podcast. Enjoy it and share it with your network. And let's help even more people to do more, be more, and achieve more. Tell everybody so that they can live a Wealthy Ways life as well. Welcome to the new Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways podcast. And remember, your best is yet to come.
Named one of the outstanding 5 speakers in the world.
Inducted into the Speaker Hall of Fame.
Award-winning singer.
Best-selling author.
And now, here's Willie Jolley.
Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Willie Jolley, and yes, it is another great day. Yes, you have only just a minute, only 60 seconds in it. It's forced upon you. You can't refuse it. You didn't seek it. You didn't choose it, but it's up to you to use it. You must suffer. If you lose it, give account. If you abuse it, just a tiny little minute, but your eternities are in it. Thank you for coming today, being a part of this show, as you are part of my success. Without you, I am not able to have this show. And I want to thank each and every one of you for listening, making this part of your weekly routine, and putting the information on the internet, the social media, telling your friends, family members that they need to listen to Dr. Willie Jolley's show on this network, because it is changing lives. So I want to thank you all for your support and all your notes and letters and all your just encouragement. Now, as for those who know, I start every show with that God's Minute that was written by Dr. Benjamin Mays, who was Martin Luther King Jr.'s mentor, and has become my catchphrase for all my interviews and all that I do. I started my career with that minute and wrote a book about it and created the Motivational Minute radio and then the TV series, all based on that minute. It's God's Minute, though. It's God's Minute. And you know, I for those who listen, every show I begin by giving God glory, giving him praise, thanking him for life. No, many people think I'm going to thank him because the show is now number one in America for self-help. I'm grateful for that, but no, for the fact that I get to travel around the world now and give speeches and share programs. My books are doing very well, bestsellers. All the radio shows are doing well. No. I'm thankful for life. I'm thankful for strength. I'm thankful for family. I'm thankful for friends. And I'm thankful for you. And I want to let you know we have a new sponsor, James Jimmy Page. He was our guest recently. He loved the show so much he said, I want to sponsor it. Go to pagecopiers.com and support him. pagecopiers.com. Now, today, talk about friends. I got one of the best, the brightest, the best in the world on the line today, and you're going to be blessed by it. I encourage you, take out your pen, your paper, your pencil, get your iPad out, your iPhone, your Android, whatever you use to capture ideas, because today is one of those shows that will change your life. I'm confident of that. My guest today is the one and only John Maxwell. That's right, John Maxwell. John C. Maxwell is a number one New York Times bestselling author. He's a coach and speaker who has sold more than 26 million books in 50 languages. In 2014, he was identified as the number one leader in business by the American Management Association and the most influential leadership expert in the world by Business Insiders and Inc. magazine. He is the founder. I got to put a little piece in there right there before I tell you more. He also was named one of the top 5 leaders by Speaking.com. He was number one. I'm honored that I was in the top 5 along with them. So I was just saying, man, I'm in the same group as John Maxwell. Maxwell. When I saw that, that's great. So anyway, I am grateful. He's the #1 leadership teacher, coach, expert on the planet today. He is the founder of the John Maxwell Company, the John Maxwell Team, Equip, and the John Maxwell Leadership Foundation. He has organizations that have trained millions of leaders. In 2015, they reached the milestone of having trained leaders from every country of the world. The recipient of the Mother Teresa Prize for Global Peace and Leadership from the Luminary Leadership Network, Dr. Maxwell speaks every year to Fortune 500 companies, presidents of nations, and many of the world's top business leaders. He can be followed at Twitter.com/John C. Maxwell. And for more information about him and his books and his programs, you can go to johnmaxwell.com. So I'm honored to have my friend on the line with me. John, are you there?
I'm here, my friend.
You know, I gave the quick synopsis of who you were and where you came from, but you can kind of fill in the blanks. I mean, you started as a pastor, small churches, and you built this global leadership. I mean, how did this happen? Where did you come from? What inspired you to do this?
Well, interestingly enough, when I was about 25, I came to the conclusion that everything rises and falls on leadership. I looked at governments, and I saw governments that prosper, good leaders, governments that didn't prosper, bad leaders. Same is true in education, business, religion. And that statement, everything rises and falls on leadership, just became the thing that grabbed me, and I was passionate about, if that's true, if really everything rises and falls on leadership, then I want to learn to be the best leader I can. So I dove into the leadership world and studied and talked to leaders and asked questions, started teaching, started writing. And really, I mean, that's when I was 26. I'm 70 now. All my life I've spent just doing leadership, helping people learn how to lead better. In my book, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, Willie, I talk about the law of the lid, which basically says how well you lead will determine how well you succeed. I was on a call earlier this morning with a major leader in Germany. I'm getting ready to go over there and speak to about 12,000 people, and he was sharing with me that in Germany, because of Nazism, for literally 50 years, many of the people had an anti-leadership sentiment because they witnessed and experienced bad leadership.
Right.
Nothing's worse than bad leadership. Nothing's better than good leadership. So I decided to teach people how to be good leaders, and I committed myself to it. It is my life, and I love it. I can tell you I've never run out of material to talk about nor people to talk it with because everybody wants more leaders. I've never known an organization where they said, you know what, we have too many great leaders in an organization. We're going to have to thin them out. My gosh, we're overloaded with great leadership and great vision. No. Everybody has a shortage of leaders. And so what I do is I try to help people know how to lead. I put the cookies on the lower shelf and basically say, look, I'm going to help you. You can develop yourself as a leader. You can learn to add value to people. You can learn to increase influence. I'm going to show you how. It's applicable to your life, and it's practical for what will bring you results, and away we go. And that's exactly what I do. So I have lived and loved leaders and leadership for the last, 45 years.
Wow. Well, folks, John and I did an event together. Now, we did it on different days with my friends, the Peoples, Bishop Joel Peoples and his wife, Yolanda. And what a tremendous event. I had spoken earlier, and then my friend Nito Cobain spoke, and then John, he brought up the rear. I mean, the best was at the last. He was tremendous. I took so many notes, and I was inspired, and I said, I've got to get you on this show so all these millions of listeners can learn about how to become better leaders, because you have such a passion. You can hear it. You want to encourage and inspire, and you implore them to become better leaders. And every sentence, every word is focused on them. That's one of the things I think you have so clearly demonstrated in your life, isn't it? Serving.
It is. I've just done my best. You know, leadership, Willie, is visual.
Uh-huh.
And people do what people see.
Mm.
And so all leadership begins with not what I say to people, but it's who I am to people. And it begins with character. It begins with, people say, I've written a lot of leadership books. They say, John, what's the book that I ought to give my children to get them started on? I say, well, the 21 Qualities of a Leader, because it teaches you about becoming the right person before trying to do the right thing. And so I just really teach, again, continually, the visualization of being the example, leading out front. People do what people see, that whole process. And, too many leaders are like travel agents. They send people where they've never been before. And they need to become, instead of a travel agent, they need to be a tour guide. Mm. Tour guides say, hang with me. I'm going to show you what I know. I'm going to take you to places I've been. We're going to do this together. And that's the kind of leadership that's contagious, and that's the kind of leadership that develops other people, that's for sure.
Wow. We've got John Maxwell. He has a brand new book, which is really a brand old book. I guess the best way to say it. But it is.
That's for sure.
But it's so good. Folks, I'm telling you, it is the book, Developing the Leader Within You 2.0. It's over 2 million copies already has sold initially, and now he's revised it, he updated it, and he's grown. I love when you write in the beginning, why did you write this book? Because I'm better. I'm grown. I've got new ideas for what I started. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back, folks, with more from John Maxwell. I'm encouraging you to tell Lottie, Dottie, and everybody to turn on the radio, to pull up this podcast, to get this information. It's life-changing because what you are is what you will do, and what you will do will have an impact on your destiny. And so I am grateful that we've got an opportunity today to help grow leaders. And folks, he talked about mentorship. I tell often in speeches that there are two ways to get to any goal, mentors and mistakes. Both will get you there. One just gets you there with less headaches, heartaches, and knots upside your head. So I encourage you to go to his website, learn about his mentorship program. He not only coaches you, but he mentors you. And that's two different offices that he has the capacity and ability to do. Most people don't have that capacity. They can do one or the other, but when you can do both, they can coach you and they can mentor you. Now, what's the difference? Well, a mentor is somebody who's been where you want to go. He's built a business. He's started a company. He's struggled through it. He's made mistakes. I love in the book how you talk about one time after you had a tough year, one of your mentors, and I think it was your big brother, was that Larry?
Yeah, it was Larry, my brother.
Yeah. He said, okay, you had a bad year now. What you gonna do about it? Let's fix it. All right. You got a choice. You can have the bad year or you can fix it. And so you decided to fix it. And so I'm grateful for your brother having that kind of influence on you. And I say to people, get mentors. Then a coach is somebody who, Tiger Woods has a coach. He doesn't play as well as Tiger Woods. Michael Jordan had a coach. He didn't play as well as Tiger Woods, but he can help you see where you need to tweak it. He can look back from afar and say, that's where the problem is. And so you need both of them in your life. And John has a unique capacity, ability, because most people don't have that capacity to do both. And I encourage everybody who's listening to take a moment, go to the website, get this book, Developing the Leader Within 2.0. Get copies for you, your family, your friends, your coworkers, your aunts, your uncles, your cousins. And then after you've gotten the book, then go about empowering and encouraging people. So stay tuned. This is Dr. Willie Jolley. And for sure, your best is yet to come. We'll be right back.
Someone you can call in the midnight.
Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and for years I've told people that in order to have a greater life, it starts by having greater individual days. If you have a great day and you repeat that great day 7 times, you've had a great week. And you repeat that week 4 times, you've had a greater month. And then repeat that month 12 times, you've had a greater year, and you're on your way to a greater life. And it starts with that individual day. I recommend you start each day with something powerful. I call it the pure, the powerful, and the positive. Rather than starting your day with bad news, how many people got killed or how many children got snatched or how many fires there were, I recommend you start your day with something to inspire and empower and encourage you to make this day a great day. We're excited to announce the start of Jolley TV on my Facebook page. Go to Willie Jolley, Willie.Jolley on Facebook. Just go to Willie.Jolley on Facebook and get ready for a great day and a great life. Have a great day on purpose. And we're back. Dr. Willie Jolley across America and across the world now. I have so many people now around the globe who are saying, I listen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And remember, this is now also available on podcast, so you can check out the interviews later if you aren't able to do it, or you can share with friends. Also, I want to take a moment to encourage everybody, if you haven't gone and gotten the free gift from my website, go to williejolly.com/gift, williejolly.com/gift. Get your free gift of some of the books, the ebooks that will help you grow and grow your family and your friends and your loved ones, because who you're around is who you will become. And so we want you to become and have people around you that will become great. My guest today is one of the great ones. He is the best leadership coach and leadership teacher in the world. He's the #1 New York Times bestselling author, coach, speaker, identified as the #1 leader in business by the American Management Association, the world's most influential leadership expert by Inc. His organization, the John Maxwell Company, also the John Maxwell Team, Equip, and the John Maxwell Leadership Foundation have trained millions of leaders touching every nation, and we're grateful. You can visit John Maxwell, johnmaxwell.com for more of his materials. John, I'm so grateful for you being here. You know, you got this new book, this old new book. Tell us about this book and why you decided to rewrite it.
I'm delighted.
Yes.
I'm delighted to, my friend. 25 years ago, I wrote a book called Developing the Leader Within You. And it was a life-changing book. It became a million seller. And the reason it was life-changing for people is it's the first book that basically came out and said you can develop yourself as a leader. You know, up until that time, a lot of people thought you were just born to be a leader or
Right.
born not to be a leader. And so therefore you either had it or you didn't have it. You're either at the front of the line or at the back of the line. And I said, no. Leadership is influence, and you can learn how to increase your influence. And I'm going to show you how. So I wrote the book, Developing the Leader Within You. And it's been a classic book in 40-some languages around the world, millions of copies. And for the 25th anniversary, my publisher said, John, could you revise it? I said, I'd love to. And in my contract, Willie, that said I was supposed to revise 15% of the book. And that was no problem, because when I started reading the book, I revised 89% of the book.
Wow.
And that's why we call it Developing the Leader Within You 2.0. It's really a new book.
Yes.
Somebody asked me about that. They said, wow, that's a big revision. What happened? Well, what happened is this. When I wrote the book 25 years ago, the book and I were on the same page. But in 25 years, guess what I'm doing, Willie? I'm doing what you're doing, what your listeners are doing. I'm growing. I'm developing. I'm getting better. I'm learning more. I'm practicing. 25 years later, what I know now, I didn't know when I wrote that book.
Right.
So I literally had to go back and bring the book up to where I was. And so I revised it, and I am ecstatic about the outcome of it, because of all the leadership books I've written, this is the best of my mentoring books. And so somebody said, I want to put in the hands of somebody that maybe is just trying to get the basics of leadership under their belt. Maybe they're just starting their leadership journey. I always say start with Developing the Leader Within You 2.0. And the reason for that is it has just the basics of what you've got to do to be successful in leadership. It's just simple, it's practical, and it's applicable. And I'm excited to share the book with you and share the book with your listeners because I know that it has life-changing potential. So I'm very excited about it.
I am blown away. Now, I'm holding the book in my hands, folks, and I'm looking at all the pages I have earmarked and marked up. And it's just about every page in the book. I'm just blown away. One of the things I think what blew me away, I loved, very, very powerful, was about problems. You know, that leaders not only handle problems, they don't run from them, they run to them because they know they will grow them. And I love this quote. It says, good leaders of good character, when leaders of good character face problems, they rise to the occasion and are often defined by their response. Bury a person in the snows of Valley Forge and you have a George Washington. Raise him in abject poverty and you have an Abraham Lincoln. Strike him down with paralysis and you have what he becomes is a Franklin D. Roosevelt. Burn him so severely that the doctors say he will never walk again and you have a Glenn Cunningham who set the world record for running a mile in 1934. Oppress them in a society filled with racial discrimination and they become a Booker T. Washington, a Marian Anderson, a George Washington Carver, and a Martin Luther King Jr. Call him retarded and write him off as uneducable and you have an Albert Einstein. Problems don't have to break us. They can make us. Woo! That one is so good. And it's like that throughout the book, folks. You got to go get this book. Where can they get it, John?
Well, you can just go to johnmaxwell.com, and it'll just right there give you directions on how to get the book. And I can tell you this, it is a book that will give you the basics and the mentoring necessary to just develop yourself as a leader. So I'm very excited about it, Willie. Very excited.
I am excited about it as well. And this book has really, I just can't say enough how many times that I have been making notes in here about little pieces that will help you grow as a leader, as a family member, and as a person of excellence. And that's a powerful part of your whole, that's part of your whole messaging too, isn't it, John? That excellence in leadership, there's some connection there. Don't you agree?
Oh, absolutely. You know, I teach people to get into what I call the top 5%. Only 15% of the population meets expectations.
Wow.
85% of the people in life, they go to work and do that. They don't even come up to what's expected of them. So only 15% meet expectations. And of those 15%, only 5% exceed it. And what I tell people all the time is you got to get in the top 5%. Because that's where all the gravy is. All the good stuff's in the top 5%.
The good stuff is there, isn't it?
Yeah. That's when you own the world, when you exceed expectations. And so I was just on a conference call of a business that I'm going to be speaking for in North Carolina a week from Saturday. And the whole conference call is, okay, what are your expectations? So I'm laying down the things they really expect from me and want out of the conference. And so I just nail them all. And so when I'm done, I look at all those things, and what is the expectations they set for me is not the ceiling. It's the floor.
Oh, say that one more time. Say that. That's exactly right. Say it one more time.
Yeah, well, the expectations the company sets for me, it's not a high bar or a ceiling I'm going for. That's the floor. That's where I start.
Yes.
I build off of that. So I make sure, first of all, that I'm going to meet those expectations. So I did I get myself covered there? Now, the moment I've got that down, now I go to a whole different level. I say, now, what do I do creatively? What do I do in such a wonderful way that I exceed those expectations? How can I go beyond what they really hope for, what they really expect? And that, Willie, is where the fruit is. That's where the return is. That's where the money is. That's where the influence is. That's where the invitations to come back and do it again is. It's all in that 5%. And I just tell people all the time, don't look at meeting expectations as your ultimate. Look at that as it's your starting place and build off of it.
Wow. Now, folks, that was almost worth the whole interview. And now we got so much rich information, but I think this is incredibly important for everybody who's listening. We have a lot of entrepreneurs, pastors, small business people who listen, and he just gave you a secret, a pearl about success at the next level. Because if you set your goal not just to meet their expectations, but to exceed them exponentially, you become a resource that they will come to. Whether you are a pastor, people will come back because you've met and expanded on them as people. Whether you're a small business person, because you have delivered a service to a client or a customer that says, hey, this guy went above and beyond what I was expecting. And that is where the juice is. Oh, this is good. This is rich. Now, as you look at leadership, why we talked about it a little bit, but I want to go a little more into problem solving, and it's the quickest way to gain leadership, because you talk about that, and that's a powerful part of this book.
Yeah, I found a long time ago that people don't like problems, and basically, Willie, they'll do anything in their power to have somebody handle the problem for them. And so what I discovered is the most receptive a person will ever be to you leading their life is for you to walk into their life and solve their problems.
Yes.
And the moment they begin to realize, oh my goodness, things are better when Willie's here. He found a way out.
Yes.
Now all of a sudden they surrender followership to you because they want somebody to lead them to the promised land. But they don't want to themselves wander in the wilderness. And so I looked a long time ago and I just said, if I can solve people's problems, I'm not only going to be their friend, but I'm going to increase my leadership influence with them. And they're going to constantly look at me as a person that has an answer. And so I just literally committed myself to loving problems and to loving the potential of problems, because life is full of them.
Yes.
What I know and what I've discovered is that for most people, problems are door stoppers, and they don't try to open that door, and they just kind of back away a little intimidated. But if you go and open that door, you'll find that in every problem is the seed of an opportunity. And the best opportunities I've ever had in my life didn't come on easy street. They came in guise of problems and difficulties and challenges and adversity in my life. And the moment that you embrace that problem solving and the moment you embrace this adversity, all of a sudden you begin, instead of being intimidated with it, you become invigorated by it.
Wow.
And you say, "Oh my gosh, this is going to lead me somewhere. This is going to help me," because it sets you apart from everyone else.
Sets you apart. We've been talking about service. We've talked about some of the principles of service and the fact that you got to serve. You got to make a commitment to serve, and you got to make a commitment to grow. We want to talk a little bit about attitude as well. What are the things in attitude that can have an impact? John, you say that attitude that attitude is everything. You talk about how attitude determines your altitude. Let's talk a little more about attitude.
Well, it's all about a positive life stance. People basically have an abundance mindset, or they have a scarcity mindset. And a person with a good attitude has an abundance mindset. A person with a bad attitude has a scarcity mindset. And what I teach people all the time is good and bad is going to happen to all of us. It's going to happen. It's going to find us. Some of that stuff's not within our control. We can't control everything. But I can control how I view things, and I can control how I respond to things. It's not what happens to me, it's what happens in me.
Right.
And if I have a positive life stance, Willie, even when bad things happen to me, I'll make them better because I think in a positive way about them, and I'll find opportunity out of those problems. If I have a negative life stance, then even good things will not be as good, and bad things will become worse. And so I think it's pretty much understanding that we see things not as they are. We see things as we are.
Right.
And that's why two people can look at the same thing, and one has a positive reaction, and one has a negative. It wasn't what they saw that did it; it's who they were. And so once I understand that who I am determines how I see things, view things, handle things in life, then all of a sudden I say, I tell people all the time, Willie, attitude isn't everything, but it is the main thing. And if your attitude is right, in fact, I wrote a book several years ago, and it was just a terrific book. It's done very well, helped people. It's called The Difference Maker. And basically the thesis of that book was attitude isn't everything, but it is the difference maker. It will make the difference in your life, and I talk about with the area of problems and just things that how it makes a difference for a person's life if they have a positive life stance.
Wow. And I like the fact, folks, that in the book, he talks about how critical your attitude is, and that's your choice. He shares the piece by Swindell that says that everybody has a option, a decision, and it's about your attitude, and the difference between those who win and those who don't is about how they see life and the response to it. There are going to be situations, there are going to be circumstances, there are going to be setbacks. We all know that, but he says, Swindell says, the longer I live, the more I realize the impact of attitude on life, and that everybody has one string to play on, and that string is your attitude, and you have a choice. You're convinced that 10% of life is what happens to you, and 90% of how you respond to it. And so that's your choice. Well, how do you tell people they should change their attitude? What do they do if they've got a negative attitude, if they've got a negative perspective, if they've got a woe is me mindset, how do you recommend they change it?
Well, I tell them it's a choice. You see, what people feel is so many times they think that the attitude they have was thrust upon them by the job they got or the boss they have or the family they've got or their situation. It's none of that. It's choice.
Yes.
And I can remember one time Margaret and I were doing a conference, and a lady asked Margaret, she said, it was Q&A, she said, does John make you happy? And I'll never forget, Margaret looked at her, and she said, no, he doesn't. And there was kind of a gasp in the audience, and I looked at her and said, hey, baby, explain to them what you mean there. And then she went, and she said, for the first 6 months of our marriage, I kept thinking, John will make me happy, John will make me happy, John will make me happy. I was teaching school, he was pastoring. I'd come home, I'd say, we'll have dinner together. He was at the hospital, had an emergency, or I had to grade paper, stuff happened. And for 6 months, I kept saying, he'll make me happy, he'll make me happy. One day she said, I realized the only person in this world that can make me happy is me. And she said, the moment I took responsibility for my happiness, my attitude, then she said, John has added immeasurably to it.
Yes.
But she said, nobody can add value immeasurably to the good things of life to you until you make the choice yourself first.
Right. That's exactly right. And throughout this, I think you disown your helplessness. I love about a victim. A victim is a person who suffers a loss because of the actions of others. A victim tends to believe that salvation comes only from the actions of others. They have little choice but to whine and wait until something good happens. Living with someone who chooses to play the victim role is draining. Working in an organization where many people have chosen the victim role is depressing. Like a disease, the condition tends to spread. And so you say that victimhood and thinking that, well, I got to have somebody else to make me happy, or you can make yourself, my wife makes me happy. But she was very content being single, and that's what attracted me to her, because many of the others wanted me to when I was dating, wanted me to become the missing piece. But she said, I'm very happy. Now, you can augment my happiness, but I'm happy with myself. And I think that's and I had to develop myself to get to my mindset to say that's part of the secret to success, isn't it?
It really is. It really is.
How long you been married, by the way?
I've been married almost 49 years.
Wow.
Almost 49 years.
That is awesome.
It's a wonderful thing.
So as a leader, you've developed leaders, and you've developed a lot of leaders all over the world. I've got more young speakers who come up to me and say, I'm a John Maxwell, certified speaker, coach. I've got, and I say, wow, if you're under John's leadership, you're in good hands. You're ready to go. One of the things you say in the book, though, I love, is that for winners, that they think differently than people who are not winning. They see life from another viewpoint. They are willing to take chances. They're willing to make a failure. They're willing to fail in order to succeed. And what you say there is you try or you test, then you fail.
Yep.
Then you learn. Then you do it differently and grow. And you go, or you think about how you're going to do it differently and grow, and then you go at it again.
That's exactly right. That's the cycle of success, and it all begins with testing. And when you are on the edge and you're learning and you're doing things you've not done before, you're going to have some misses.
Right.
And that's okay. Failure is embraced as a friend because it teaches you something. So the key to that cycle of success of test, fail, learn is the fourth one, and that is improve.
Wow.
You don't re-enter until you improve. You know, when somebody tells me they fail, Willie, it's okay. I fail all the time, so I understand failure. But that's not what I'm really interested in. It's not their failure. What I'm really interested in is what did they learn from it, and how did they get better. And if a person tells me what they learned and how they got better, failure's become their friend. It's made them a better person. But if you can't tell me what you learned and haven't tell you how you improve, then I hear about people all the time. They get knocked down, they get back up. They get knocked down, they get back up, and they say, "Boy, I love a tenacious person." Well, if you're not learning and improving before you get back up, you're not a tenacious person. You're a stupid person.
Absolutely.
So the question is not did I get knocked down. The question is when I got knocked down, what did I learn? How did I improve?
Right.
Once I know what I learned, and once I say, okay, I'm going to get better over this, then you get back up and re-enter. I love that section of the book. It's one of my favorite sections, really, because when the people read that, they're going to say, oh my gosh, John's opened up a whole way for me to understand success in a better way.
And failure is not final. I think Maya Angelou said that we grow through the failure. And I know I've told people you have a setback. A setback is a setup for a comeback. But you've got to be willing to go through it and not just let it stop you. You've got to get back in the fight, get back on the horse, and keep going after your goals and dreams because it's worth the fight. You grow from it. You develop from it. You get stronger. If you go to the gym and you got little muscles, you start with the small muscles, but you don't stop because it's heavy or it's difficult. You keep pushing, and before long you can lift other higher weights. Throughout the book you're doing this. Again, where can people get the book? Where can they get access to you?
Sure. Well, here's what I want to encourage you to do. The key is to go to johnmaxwell.com. You can get the book there. But I want to just make sure that your listeners also know that I have an incredible opportunity for them because growth is a process in life. It's more than an event or it's more than a moment. It's even more than a book. And when you go to johnmaxwell.com, if your listeners will click up at the very top, there's something that says Start Your Journey. It's one of the best things I've ever done for people. And the journey that you start with me is an online course. And it's on the 15 laws of growth. The laws of growth that you need to get better. Because the only guarantee, Willie, that tomorrow is going to get better is that I'm growing today.
Yes.
If I'm not growing today, there's no guarantee tomorrow is going to get better. And I would encourage you, this is an online course. You're with me for 12 weeks with other people on the course. And it's $199, but I will promise you that we have had tens and tens and tens of thousands of people do that Start Your Journey growth program with me, and we get the same response constantly. It's the best personal growth material that I've ever been involved in. So anyway, when they go to johnmaxwell.com, they get Developing the Leader Within You 2.0. They can go to Start Your Journey and get on my 15 Laws of Growth online program. And if they want to get on my monthly live mentoring calls, I do a mentoring call every month live right on the phone. And literally, thousands of people just check in with me, and I teach for 30 minutes, and then we do Q&A, and that's on there. They can be mentored by me just anyway. I'm just doing what you're doing, Willie.
Yep.
I'm just trying to help and serve people. And by the way, I just want to say this before we wrap this up, how much I appreciate you and value your friendship and value how you are helping people, because you are committed to making a difference in a positive way to others. And your radio program says that, your books say that, your life says that. And I just really respect you and honor you as a friend. And I thank God for you. And you're helping a lot of people, including me. So I just encourage you, keep it up, friend. Just keep it up.
You know, you've been such a great inspiration to me and so many others, and I thank you for those kind words. And I'm grateful that I am able to have you as a friend. And I am so excited because we get to share these great ideas. Remember, you can get these ideas now on our podcast. You can get them on iHeartMedia, the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways podcast. You can get it on iTunes, on Stitcher. So go and get this information. Great interviews from the greatest thinkers and minds on the planet who come and grace this radio show every week. We'll want to make sure you stay fired up. So stay tuned. This is Dr. Willie Jolley, and for sure, your best is yet to come. We'll be right back.
Life had enough ups and downs, but Lord, since I met you, all that's changed in the blink of an eye. Now all my heart wants to do is fly. You put wings on my dreams and overcame my fear of heights. Now how high will I fly? If I dare to touch the sky, oh, I'm flying.
Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and people often ask, how did I go from a broke, busted nightclub singer to become a best-selling author and to be voted one of the outstanding 5 speakers in the world by the 175,000 members of Toastmasters International? The answer is that I decided to invest and change my thinking, invest in my mindset, and decided to change my inputs, because inputs determine outputs. I heard about a seminar years ago when I was just getting started. I was making about $100 a speech. And I heard this seminar that was creating millionaires, and it cost $10,000, but the guy was getting results. I didn't have that kind of money, but I decided to borrow it, because I learned that there's a price for success, the price of college, the price of going to school, the price of education. And there's a price for success, and then there's a cost for not paying the price, the cost of staying the same. And that cost is greater than the price. It's too expensive. And so I went, and it changed my life. And I came back and quickly made $100,000. I heard a similar story from Dr. Dave Martin, how he went to a success rally, heard a speaker who inspired him. He and his friends said, wow, that's changed my life. The speaker had a package of materials to help build wealth. The package cost $1,500. And that was all the money Dr. Dave had to his name. Dr. Dave's friend asked, do you think this stuff is worth it? Dr. Dave thought for a moment. He said, I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it. But I do know that I'm worth it. I'm worth it. He invested that money in that package and used the materials to grow his thinking. He grew his mindset. He shared how that $1,500 investment has gone on to generate millions in revenues. He's a multimillionaire. And he has homes now in Arizona and Florida. I want to say to you, it's time to invest in you. I want to give you some materials that will help you, grow your mindset, grow your future, grow your finances. Go to wjspeaks.com/billionaire. wjspeaks.com/billionaire to get some materials that will inspire your success and will help you find that there's a price for success, but there's a cost for not paying the price. And the cost is always greater than the price. Go to wjspeaks.com/billionaire and get the bag, the box, or any of the materials there, and keep growing your wealth. And remember, as a man thinketh, so as he is, and your best is yet to come. back. This is Dr. Willie Jolley with my special guest, John C. Maxwell, New York Times best-selling author, many books, many times on the bestsellers list. The creator of so many great organizations on leadership around the world, has trained more leaders than probably anybody in history, and has been a good friend of so many of my friends. I told you offline that we have so many good friends. Danny Cox, when I was there, he said, you know, John sometimes comes by here and sits in my library. He'll stay here all day just reading. And that's part of how you became John Maxwell, isn't it? It's the growth. It's the development. It's the,
It's the people you meet. It's the books you read. It's the experiences that you have. It's the lessons that you learn. You know, it's available to all of us.
Yes.
But all of us don't take that opportunity and understand what a privilege and what a way to develop and grow ourselves. But Danny is a terrific guy, has a terrific library.
Does he have a great library?
Oh, well, he knows everybody, and you know, when he goes to heaven, God's going to say, Danny, come over here. Who is that person over there?
That's the truth. I was speaking at the Crystal Cathedral, you know, that's Danny's church, and I was speaking there and spent the night with Danny, and I couldn't go to sleep, John, because I kept sneaking down in the library, getting another book, and so grateful for him. So now let's talk about what's the next? What do you think is next in leadership? What's the future? Where's leadership going?
Well, I think that leadership is in more demand than ever before.
Yes.
Because I think most people, most countries have lost their way. We've lost our values. Yep. And so therefore, in times of uncertainty, there's a greater demand for leadership than any other time. So when leaders are saying, well, I'm leading my people, but I'm uncertain, I say, well, you're always going to be uncertain. I mean, that's why people depend on you. If everybody was certain and everybody was sure, they wouldn't need you.
Yes.
So it's kind of like problem solving. I tell leaders, be grateful for the problems. That's why people come to you. If they didn't have problems, they wouldn't go to you. And I think leadership, where it's going now, is that we're beginning to understand it's more than title, it's more than position. You've got to really grow yourself, and you've got to develop yourself. I think two things. A leader to have a better tomorrow has to be a growing leader, and has to be an authentic leader. I think authenticity is the new touch of a leader. I don't think they want the leader always to be perfect, but I certainly think they want the leader to be open and honest and caring and sharing. And so what I've done is Willie, not only do I write books, as you know, but you know, I've got companies and training programs. But one of the things that I have done recently that has just had a great return on it for people is that I have a video online course called Start Your Journey.
Okay.
And it's all about personal growth. It's all about how do you develop yourself. It's taken from my book, The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. That book became an instant bestseller, and it's all about how do you develop yourself, how do you grow yourself, and you know, those laws just help you work and help you be effective. And so this online course that you can get, you can just be with me every week and with others that are on that course, and you can grow yourself and develop yourself. And we have had tens of thousands of people just say this was life-changing for me. And when people say, I want to have a good future, I tell them, the only guarantee that tomorrow is going to be better is that you're growing today. Right. And so I'm really committed to helping people grow. And if they just go to johnmaxwell.com and just click up to the very top where you'll see a phrase, Start Your Journey. And that'll introduce you to the course and get you enrolled. And you will be taken off very quickly, and you'll just be literally learning how to grow yourself as a leader, because you cannot give what you do not have.
Woo, that's the truth. That's the truth. That is the
And so
absolute truth.
I've got to ask myself, am I going to be a historian or am I going to be a leader?
Yes.
A historian just talks about the good old days and what they did yesterday. That isn't going to lead anybody today. You got to be in the now. You got to be leading them at this point. So I discovered that one of the ways to help people grow is this online course. And again, go to johnmaxwell.com, start your journey, and that'll introduce you to it and get you going. And then another thing that I've done now, I've done this longer, I think, than any other person, but in the 1980s, about 83, I started a monthly leadership tape club.
Wow.
That has literally just affected and helped hundreds of thousands of people. And recently I took that tape club and I turned it into a monthly live phone call. And
Excellent.
we have, I think we probably have enrolled on that phone call 15 to 20,000 people.
Wow.
And they get on the call with me, and I teach for 30 minutes, and then I do Q&A for 30 minutes. And again, if you want to kind of be mentored by phone every month, and by the way, if you can't make that hour phone call that time, once you're a part of the mentorship program, you can pick it up any time during that month that you want to. But if you just go to johnmaxwell.com, you can enroll in what we call the monthly live mentoring calls.
Wow.
It's called MIM. Just
MIM.
go there and you'll see it. And come in with me. Come on in. Every month I teach you something fresh and new about leadership and use examples of yesterday or last week because it's a phone call.
Right.
And it's just right. It's just fresh to help people. Again, I'm just trying to help equip, train people, develop them. One time somebody asked me what my growth plan was, so I told them. When I got done, they said, "Well, I don't like your plan." I said, "Okay, that's all right. You don't have to like my plan." I said, "What's yours?" They said, "Well, I don't have one." I said, "I don't have one yet." I said, "Well, I like my plan better than yours."
That's right. But I used to tell people when I was selling my audio tapes that weren't very pretty in little soap dish cassette case, I said, this is an ugly tape, but it's much better than the one you ain't got.
That's exactly right. It sure beats what you don't have.
That's right. In my upcoming book, Attitude of Excellence, one of the things you just talked about, I have shared at the beginning of the book and throughout that the best way to grow your future is grow yourself. The best way to grow your organization is grow your people. And great people give great service. Good people give good service. Mediocre people give mediocre service. And negative people will kill your organization. So you got to grow your people. So, John, I want to ask you in the last couple minutes we've got, I ask every guest this same question. If you were sitting or in a room with a classroom of college students who want to start a business and wanted advice, what would be your simple solutions, suggestions, points, tips? What would you tell them?
Well, that's a great question. And the first thing I would tell somebody young, starting off, is that they need to get their own personal definition of success. Success is very subjective. If you went and polled your audience, if you ask them, do you want to be successful because they tune in to you, Willie, every one of them say, yeah, I want to be successful. That's why I watch or listen to your program. So they all want to be successful, but if you ask them what success is, you'd have dozens of different answers because it's very subjective.
Yep.
And so I tell people constantly that before you can ever become the person you want to be, you've got to understand for you what success is. And I'm going to share what I think success is.
Yes.
And I think that your listeners, I just trust they'll write this down, and I think that they'll begin to resonate with it. I think success is three things. I think it's number one, knowing my purpose in life. I just don't think you can be successful unless you know why you're here.
Yep.
I mean, the reason you're here is what you ought to be doing.
Yep.
And if you don't know the reason you're here, you don't know what you should be doing. And so you're kind of a lost person. You're a boat without an anchor. So, how do I discover my purpose in life? It's by my passion and by my gift mix, my skill set.
Yes.
Those are the two ways. You find out what you're passionate about, what you're gifted in. You'll get close to right then to your purpose. So success is knowing my purpose in life. Number two, growing to my maximum potential.
Yes.
In other words, it's me taking the potential, the gift of God, and turning that gift back to my gift to Him of what I do with that potential. And so it's me developing myself and growing myself. Again, that's why I was talking a little bit ago about the Start Your Journey online course of personal growth that I have for people.
Right.
Again, that'll be a huge one. So it's knowing my purpose in life. It's growing in my maximum potential. And then thirdly, I think it's sowing seeds that benefit others.
Wow.
I think any time success stops with me, it's short-lived and short-sighted.
Yes.
It's got to be moving over to adding value to other people. And I think that line, once it's not about me, but it's about helping, serving, adding value to people, I think I began to get into the upper success echelon, which is significance.
Amen.
And so that's just what I live, and that's what I love, and that's what I believe. And I would just tell youth, just get your personal definition of success. Once you get that, stay on that track and go build your life.
That is exactly it. Well, John Maxwell, you have been phenomenal. You've been gracious. You've been a great friend, and I'm grateful for you. Again, folks, I want you all to go get this book. It's called Developing the Leader Within You 2.0. Go get copies for all your people. Go to johnmaxwell.com. Get his materials. Get part of his offerings, and you will grow, and you will never be the same because of. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you.
Hey, right back at you, Willie. Have a great 2018, buddy.
You too. God bless you, and much continued success for all you and your family, and look forward to being in your presence again soon.
I hope so.
God bless. What a show. I want to thank you for listening. I want to thank you for staying close to me. And I want to encourage you to go get your podcast, to follow me on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on IG, and finally to go to jollymarriage.com and get your new copy of the book. Make love, make money, make it last. Have a great day and a great week on purpose.
Are you tired of crying and complaining? Tired of feeling like life don't treat you fair? Do you see so many others moving on while you're steady going nowhere? Have you maybe come to the conclusion?
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.